this one, what's his name? Let's see, Corey Barnes. They were talking about the way he used the Facebook group to create his to get his directory built up, which is kind of like what I did. I created 4 years ago, created a Facebook group that I knew eventually was going to be a website or an app or something.
Right.
And then
it always pays to do it ahead of time.
Yeah. So I'm doing that with this other one. I'm doing like South Florida kids activities, camps, coach, all sorts of stuff with kids, because really not anything that's aggregated down here in South Florida. And I figured anything with kids is a very popular. So I'm going to create a Facebook group and then.
Let me show you. I mean, obviously this isn't Florida, it's Michigan, but if you want to emulate one that has some good kids content, it's pretty simple. Just grkids.com. That's the Grand Rapids is what it stands for, the city near me. But they have a pretty good site with content in there from local moms and stuff that are doing blog articles and stuff, and they do a good job of detailing stuff that's good to do in the local area.
Perfect.
They have articles on there, local food. So kind of a little competition of mine ish. They're more blog, I guess, based though than a directory or whatever. So I'm actually gonna try to talk to these guys, but they're more of there's an article. So when it says fall fun, so they do like segmented blog articles every year. So this is the annual 15 farms with the best you pick apples and pumpkin patches, and they've got images and locations and stuff like that, and just answers and stuff. So people take photos and write the blogs, like freelance bloggers or whatever, and then they have some advertisements and stuff inside there, and then a list of the farms and stuff.
How's their directory portion of it any good?
Well, they don't have one. That's what I was saying. I always, and I haven't done it yet, but I always tell people, hey, get with other areas of your particular niche, or that may seem like a competitor that is not. Can you still see that? So anyway, because they may be an asset, or it looks like they're competing, but maybe they're not. Like so, for instance, if they've got all the news article, all the people writing. Well, maybe you don't want to do all the article writing, so maybe it's a match made in heaven. They do all the articles, and then when they come here, instead of linking this link straight to the orchard company, what if that linked to the directory, right? Instead of just the actual website for the orchard, and they have all of the big info on there, and you kind of trade off that you link to my directory, I will link to your articles,
right.
that kind of thing. So, but I'm just saying, if you want to have a good guide on a kids thing, this one's pretty good. And it looks like they've added a ton of advertising, which means to me they weren't making enough money, because they're throwing all sorts of ad crap over here, and it's actually stolen my browser. But anyway, so they have they sell ads and stuff on the side too, like I'm going to try to do, and I recommend everybody try to sell as well. But that's a good example.
Yeah,
they're just trying to branch out, like I'm trying to get some leads from people wanting to do event services for kids or something. Or
well, basically,
actually, you do bars, right? That's not really kid oriented.
There's nothing. Everything that I'm doing has nothing to do with besides Find Them, is not event business related. Okay. After doing this directory, you get all these ideas of like what directories can be done, and researching what is already done, and
right.
if it's viable industry. But it was really something I was trying to look for my kids to, especially during the pandemic. And then there's like these magazines, those do you have kids or no?
Yeah, they're like
those magazines you get when you take them to daycare, and they have those like parenting magazines and like that are,
right.
For what's locally in your area.
Yeah.
Everything from camps to summer, to bounce house place, everything. So there's a couple magazines, but the magazines don't have, I don't know why, they don't have any web presence. They concentrate on the hard copy.
Right.
So, but anything can be done, even if there's ones out there. It's not always the first to market, but it's always, who has the best reach.
Right.
So, it's funny that they ended I think they ended it. I don't know. I had to leave a few minutes before it was ended, but they talked about this guy that started a Facebook group, and when he first launched his site, he did like 11,000 in 3 months, which to me doesn't sound like it's anything. They said he has $3,000 in recurring revenue a month, which to me sounds low. But the thing that was curious, was interesting, was that he started a group and he got, I guess his first 90 days, he had like 11,000 in revenue, which is not unrealistic, because I did mine and I didn't really go after anybody yet. And I took in 4,500 the first month that I launched.
However,
what? What in membership with
from your directory?
What?
From directory, or what membership of what?
Yeah. My when I launched the directory, basically I launched it last month. It was soft launching. It's not really even a hard launch yet. And we took in $4,500 the first month. Do
you mind me pulling it up? I don't know if I looked at that one before.
Yeah, I find them?
Yeah, the directory.
Yeah, just do findthem.com. FYN.
Okay. No, that's right. That's right. We looked at that before. Yeah. So this is one thing I wish that they did. While I'm on this page here, I wish they did a little bit better in terms of calendar, of having a schedule where you can kind of see events by timeline like this. Real easy for a particular day, so you can have a splash page that was just for a particular listing, or for your whole directory, just to kind of have a chronological what's on the docket for today's events. A little bit more of a presentation.
Yeah, that's one thing that I think their calendar is weak.
I think
there's a couple of things that I asked. They when you look at the calendar view, it shows us the dot, which I guess is really not much you could do, but I was thinking that they could do different colored dots for each, event that's on there. But what they don't have is like,
I think there's a customization you can do that, but it's still a little bit clunky on the calendar, I think.
Yeah, they don't have anything like that. Would be great to have like a list where you can just have and I'm sure that you can do something custom. But I hid my calendar right there, the events, where it says events right there. But I don't really have a lot in there yet. Oh, look at that! Some people put stuff on there. But what was that?
No, I just hand typed something in there. I was trying to backdoor into the
I'm gonna thing. I have a few more things to go through, but then I'm gonna set up some time with you to have you go through. Maybe you can go through with me the site, and I'll pay you to review it and give me some idea. Like I'll explain exactly what I'm doing.
Yeah.
And then you can give me some ideas of what you think. I just want the user experience to be that's the most important part of it.
Right. I was just going over a client today on user experience stuff, or just like how the directory runs. And, it's hard to, I always tell people, obviously somebody can, help you design it or set it up or whatever. But, you want to make sure that you go through your particular directory and know what the user experience is for your person, because they may overlook something accidentally, or think it looks fine, but it's not something you had in your head on how you wanted to do. So just for everybody out there is getting a designer or, helping you out. You guys are running your business, so make sure that you're looking through there. Make sure that it looks exactly like you want. Test stuff out. Pretend to be a different user for the user experience, and then make sure it works for what you want. And then if it doesn't, then, bring that to their attention so they can fix it, because, obviously everybody's different. What somebody's doing may not be what you want to do. And just because somebody else is doing it doesn't mean that you want to necessarily do it for you. So I'll make sure you always, look at it, even if you have somebody else do it. So.
No, it's true, because the couple, and you don't I've been involved in quality assurance, and about it. You can't test everything, right? But
right.
Like my partner tested the lead thing, and he came back with all these things, and I went and fixed them because I didn't really do anything with leads yet.
Oh, here you go. Your contact us is not linked up. I can't click it.
Oh shit! Really? What?
Yeah. There's no link there. I mean, this one is obviously, but that
must have changed. Something weird. I'll fix it.
There you go. But yeah, exactly. I mean, and so, I get, sometimes people say that to me too. And I, obviously I try to do that, but I overlook stuff when they're like, hey, just make sure the whole site works, and I'm like,
my button's working.
That's good. Is it really? Oh, now it is. It was not on the home page. Let me go back.
Oh, wait, let me go.
And that's what you did the other day. That looks good. Try that again. Oh, it does now. Oh, no, hold on. Yep, now it does. That's weird.
It could be that accessibility thing slowing it down.
No, it could be. Is that user way?
Yours, I went on that website and I did all the thing and I added it. What was strange is that it says white label code, but it still shows their logo. I didn't know what they meant by white label code compared to the regular script code.
Yeah, it's weird. When people say white label for things, some of them mean like, oh, you could change your color. It's white label. And you're like, no, that's not what that means. That's called customizing the colors. It's not like white label means I don't know it's you.
Right.
And so a lot of times people have to call out the companies that are like, you need to change that because you do not offer white label. And they're like, yeah, we do. You can take your logo off. And then they say, yeah, but the email that they get says userway, like it's from you. That's not white label. They know it's you. So it's kind of like full white label, partial white label, or color change. That sometimes they just mislabel.
Yeah. I saw you added your accessibility link to that widget, which was neat. Your accessibility statement.
Yeah, and there you go. You added that in there, so that's good.
Yeah, I did that in the bottom like you did yours. Which, why is it now? Yeah, see, it's funny here. And when that thing's up, the link doesn't work. Oh, I see. You got to get out of that. And then I changed this.
Some other people listening in, you guys can jump in on the conversation there whenever you guys want. If you guys want to come up, come. Otherwise, I'll do some presenting stuff. We'll talk to Jamie, or just jump in if you guys have any questions. We can help out with stuff. So go ahead, Jamie. Sorry.
Oh yeah, but so I did that. I changed on the front. I created that carousel with the popular categories because I had an uneven amount of categories. I added a new one. Like on the homepage on the bottom, we
went over this last week for everybody on the call here. The new scrolling feature on the page, so it looks good.
And there's just a few things that I'm tweaking, and then
no, it looks good. So I'm gonna do real quick here. I know you were on the call. I'm going to throw out something real quick here at the beginning of the call here. Just so I cover down on it. What I wanted to do, just for everybody listening, Jamie, you can do this. Everybody else is on the call too. Jenny, Frank, Mark, anybody else here on the call. What I was proposing or thinking about, changing up or maybe adding an additional webinar time, maybe in the evening or a different day or something, trying to get some additional focus for people that maybe can't make it. So for anybody listening, I'm going to send this out to the email distro as well to get some feedback from everybody. But if you don't mind scanning that with your phone for the QR code for my survey, or just go to directorytoolkit.com/webinar. I just wanted to get everybody's opinion on what days are best for you to have the webinars and what times are best. So I just, pick your days up to all 5, and then pick your times up to 5 times that work best for you. And I just want to see if there's a general consensus on a better day or time that would work for everybody. And I may end up either adding another one or shifting when we're going to do this. So if everybody watching, I'll send this out on the link as well. If you don't mind filling out that survey for me, I'd appreciate it. And then we can adjust fires potentially going forward. The only reason I was doing that, I kind of originally had them on Thursday, so we can kind of go over some of the stuff that we went over on the every other week thing for BD for their webinars. And I kind of had them in the early afternoon as well, just because people were started to get more work at home during COVID and stuff. I think some people are going back to their day job or are not as readily available as they were before, so maybe not the most optimal time. And I know it's not I don't think it's ever a good time for anybody in Australia or New Zealand that sometimes pops on here, as it's about 12 hours off. It'd basically be like 1 a.m. right now over there anyway, or like midnight. So maybe, an evening one that they normally do for BD works better for even those guys, because they'll be able to join it early in the morning. And then everybody here would kind of be late evening on the East Coast or early evening on the West Coast here in the U.S. So the only problem is, and then I think England's always +5 on the hours for you guys are tapping in from there. And so that'd be, even if I did 7 o'clock here, it'd be midnight over in the UK. So hard to get everybody in there, obviously. But if we can work a time that works better for everybody, then maybe we might move it. So if everybody could fill it out, I'd appreciate it. And I'll throw up the call to action here for everybody on the webinar as well. If you just want to directly click the link off from the page there, feel free to do that. I think the link should work, but just in case it doesn't, you can click the take survey there on the screen and take it. Otherwise, QR code if you're on the mobile should work. I don't know how you're going to do that if you're watching the video or replay on your phone. You'll be able to take a picture with your phone. If you're watching it on your phone, that won't work. But if you could go to the link, I'd appreciate it. So, Jamie, you said you're the only one that came up calm here so far. So did you go? Did you want to go over anything that was on the webinar yesterday? These are some of the things for everybody watching the replay that they did go over yesterday. And we can go over or discuss anything that you want. So I'll let you drive, Jamie, since you're the one talking to me today. But this is what we went over yesterday. If you guys missed it, the full width buttons on the actual web pages when you make it. They added that global search that we talked about last week. They added the location option on there as well. They added member search filters in the back end, just so you can make that a little bit easier. And they format member profile advanced settings where you can change the URL structure of the member profile pages. And then they're also previewed a upcoming page commenting feature that looks pretty promising. So
my the thing I got the most out of was the member. Jesus, brain fart. At the end when they were talking about, oh my God, what the hell's the word I'm looking for? The member, the listing. When you add a listing, so people can buy the listing. Jeez, I don't know why I'm having a brain fart here.
Claim,
thank you. The claiming part. And I kind of think I've understood it. Where
hey, you're coming in and out there, Jamie. I don't really hear you anymore.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Let me switch on to my other. Let's see here. So I can switch to. Can you hear me now better?
Yep, that's fine.
Oh, that's the wrong one. Hold on. How's that?
Nope, so good.
All right, good. So one of the things I need to do is add. I think I told you I'm going to try to add 50 companies in each of the major markets.
Yeah.
And have them claim. So what I got out of yesterday's is that, because I really didn't do a lot of research on the claiming part of it, is that I got to create a membership that's separate from all the other ones that are basically a claims membership, correct?
Right.
And then I'll add all those in as that membership, and then have them be able to upgrade to whatever one, either go to the upgrade page or force them to an upgrade, or force the claim button to whatever page I want to go to.
Right.
Is there anything that is any hints, tips, easy ways to do it? I mean, I know that it just takes time to do my goal was to try to get, the logo, some information about the company, the phone number, email address, and as much contact information I can, and then add that to the listing to make it at least look decent.
Yeah. So we'll just go over a couple of those items there for the memberships. Actually, let me go to the membership plans here for mine. So what Jamie's talking about is the membership plans, and inside the membership plans, what I would always recommend, and they showed it last night, is to have a claim listing bucket, basically, that you keep people in. So I have several examples here for mine. I always label it claim listing and a type. This is my nonprofit claim listing. This is my claim listing for my basic multi-listing, less than 4, more than 5, or but I basically, bottom line is I have a claim listing version for a bunch of different categories. You may just have one claim listing and you can just call it claim listing. But usually you want to have it geared at a certain level. Like I would normally do maybe your free version, or if you're going to have the claim listing have, I guess, some extra functionality that your normal listings wouldn't have unless they paid. You can always do that, and you're basically, kind of enticing them. Well, if you liked what it looked like for claim and you want to control it and be able to add additional data, you're going to have to pay for it to look like that and control it. Now, there's a couple different, viewpoints on that potentially, where you don't want to have to ever take it away if they, claim the listing, but maybe you do. And I have it set up like that. As a use case that I would recommend, because then if they go to a free one, they gain control of it, but it looks more lackluster than it did before, because I'm kind of giving them the baseline low paid looking version without them paying it. Now there's a trade-off there. If it's so good that they're like, well, I just won't pay and just have it look nice, and that you run the risk of that. But I have multiple tiers above that do additional stuff, and they can't add coupons or add a post or do any advertising. They can't do anything if they don't claim it. So there's a couple different schools of thought on that. Or you can just have it be the claim listing be the free one, and so when they buy into the free, it looks exactly the same, only now they're controlling it. So what you want to do is have it in a claim listing, because what these are kind of dummy accounts. Like no one's actually going to sign up for this. Like this sign up page, and you don't have to do this, but you can get rid of the checkout page. Like if I go to that checkout page for mine, see how it says it doesn't, sign up pages do not exist for this membership level, because you can't sign up for a claim listing, because there's nothing to buy. You can't add data in, and then it would be uncontrollable. It's just kind of a dummy placeholder. And so when you actually go to grab that claim listing, you're actually signing up for and transferring that claim listing over into something paid. So, this premium listing or anything paid, basically, you're going to port that over from the guest account into there, and it basically just transfers it over there. And so instead of being 408 claim listing basics, there'll be 407 claim listing basics, because that one person upgraded to the premium. Then this one.
Can you disable the sign up for that? Would that make any?
Yeah, you can, but again, the system won't allow you to sign up for a claim listing. Like it just won't do it. So what he's saying, that's what I was kind of alluding at. You could turn it off like this, where signups are disabled. Just on the pricing page here, you can say disable signups, yes.
Right.
You can save that, and then that'll turn it red.
Right, which means that that kind of,
which means that you can't sign up for it. But you saw there, I was just trying to demo that because I want to see what it did myself. So now this claim listing basic is signups are disabled, and now I went to that 8. Let me refresh this here and see what it does now, because I kind of said you can't check out, and see now it gives a 404 error. So I almost think it's better just to leave it as is. And just say, so it'll say there's no signups. Now, it doesn't really matter if you're not linking to this. It doesn't really matter anyway, because nobody's, unless they're fat finger like a number there, and they're not going to find it anyway. And even if there's no plan and they're just kind of hand typing stuff in there, you're going to get a 404 error anyway. They're just making stuff that's potentially not there. So it doesn't really matter. You're not linking to it. So I would just say if it helps you out mentally, or to know that that's not something anybody can sign up for, yeah, go ahead and do that. But it doesn't do that by its own, or but naturally. Maybe it should. If you pick claim listing, it automatically goes signups disabled, but it doesn't. Those are independent, and it doesn't really change anything other than getting a 404 error vice the unable to check out.
Right.
So
I
almost like the unable to check out thing a little bit better anyway, but who knows?
I was going to say, real quick before you go to the next thing, it says you have this like basic multi-listing.
Okay, I'm losing you again.
Oh, can you hear me now?
Yes.
The multi-listing, explain that a bit, because I have companies that have like 4 or 5 different offices around the country.
Right.
That sign up, and right now I just give them service areas. They can just.
Yeah, so I basically charge more for varying levels of businesses. So, for example, if you're just a one business, you could do a basic listing. There's a basic multi-listing where I allow up to 4, and then anything 5 or above is a different price. How that basically works is, let me just log in as a multi-listing, for example. I'm just going to list out all of these companies here. And what it does, I'll show you what it looks like on the front end. Then we'll kind of go back into the back end there to kind of show you the settings. So what it basically does, it allows you to have one Uber controlling business, and then multiple businesses underneath for like this comes in handy for food, right? These are a bagel company where there's multiple bagel locations. For real estate agents where there's a realty and there's multiple real estate agents. For banks where they have multiple branches. For a city or something where you're gonna, like for me, I have the Kent County main site has a bunch of different parks, and so all those parks are underneath the primary city listing. So churches, right? This one's got multiple church locations. So what it does is it has a parent account, and that's member 835. And so I can scroll down to 835. And so this one's, again, a parent or a child of a member 835. Right. And so if I scroll down to member 835 here, you'll see that this is a four great food brands. And they have that's the parent company of the 3 bagel stores. So you see right here, they have 3 sub accounts. Now, if I click on that, or if I click that, it's gonna open up those 3 sub accounts for that particular listing, and it'll automatically sort those out. So there's the primary parent, and then the 3 bagel areas. And I'll just log in real quick as this member to kind of show you what it looks like on the front end for the multi-member. And this looks like a normal listing for this brand, but what it adds is an extra thing here called sub accounts. And so when they go in there, it's going to have all of those sub accounts listed out. And so the way this works is that, let's say this admin, when they log in, they can then get into and or edit all of their below them listings. But maybe the manager at the Grand Rapids Breton bagel thing, when they log in, they're not going to see or be able to edit the manager's stuff for the other locations. They're only going to get theirs. But if you log in as the parent organization, you can see everybody's and log in as that particular sub account. And so if you log in as a sub account on these, it looks just like a normal listing, only that sub account is not going to have the sub account one, because you can't have subs under a sub. It's just not like multi-layered. You can only have one, parent with a subcategory. So now if you log into that, it's just like the normal parent account. You change everything independently. It's got its own email, got its own login, but the Uber parent account can see all those. And so for this one, I think, they're in the 5+. So that means they can continue to add new sub accounts and add new sub accounts and keep adding. The other ones, if they're limited to 4 or less, stop them.
So this one is unlimited over 5, or whatever.
Right? They can have as many as they want.
And how is that set up on the back end?
Yeah, I'll show you that in a second. I just want to show one more thing here before I go do that.
Sure.
So they really improved this one. They add a new sub account. What it basically does, I'll just demo it and then I'll delete it. For this one, you literally, so I kind of make a new one and it just comes up with a blank thing. It initially just does name, email, location, and then you save it, and then you can log in as that particular member. But what they really improved was this copy details from master account. And it now says, hey, confirm that you want to create based on this profile's information. And all you have to do is hit save and continue, and it will basically duplicate everything in this listing and make a new one. So you only have to edit the stuff that you don't want. So now I already duplicated that. It's basically like cloning a listing, and now you can log in and edit what's different. So it makes it really nice. Maybe it would be nice as if they have a clone button here, but that's basically what that does, because you can't do that with like if I wanted to make another bagel one, this isn't the bagel, this is kind of the company. So it's a little bit, to me, not necessarily how the rest of the stuff works. And I wish you could just clone a branch or something.
Oh, yeah.
This has to be the primary only. So just keep that in mind. But it does now, if I log in as them, now it has all the data from this one, and the other one I can just edit what's different. So that's nice.
Do you feel that it's an easy experience for the customer to understand all that, or do you have to educate them?
I think it's pretty simple. Because it just add a new sub account, and I mean, again, if they know how to do theirs, it's just making a sub account. Right. I haven't had any issues with people understanding it. Really,
did you do this for them, or did they do it?
This one I did for them. This one is a claim listing. So, and I have pizza companies. I got like a shopping store that's useful. So there's a lot of use cases that that brands or niches that would fit into this kind of thing. So let me go show you on the back end then how to edit that. Let's go back to the membership plans and go back to the actual settings here. Let's open up that one I was in.
You spent many hours doing this, I assume, for the claim listings.
Yeah, I have, just to set it up. And again, it was me. When you do this multi thing, what you don't want, you want to have, if you're going to put it all on there and put the claim listings on there, you're going to have to, I added some of them in there, like I would want them to claim and utilize it. You know what I mean? So like if for that company, which I haven't talked to them yet, but I have all those things in their listing. So I just have to talk to the corporate or the head thing. And like, I've got all your listings. You guys can distribute all that, crap to your managers or whatever. It's one login. I got you. They're all your stuff in there, and you can claim, that basically all of them. It allows them to claim all of those things just with one fell swoop. So it's pretty simple in setting it up here. Again, this is 5+. You don't have to break it down like that. I do just so that I can charge more, right? For those, for example, if you're a small boutique realty or something, and you have it's like you and somebody else, right? And you're like a realty. I don't charge you as much, but if it's like an entire brokerage where they've got like 20 people, then they're going to pay more money for that 5+ the higher version, Sure. So all you do is go to post publishing, and then you click sub accounts and activate, and then you max sub account limit. So Again, this is the 5+, so I don't have any limit, but for the 4 or less, then I have this activated, and then you just type in 4 and save it, and then that's it.
And you can't do this per individual person. In other words, like let's say you didn't set up you have to have a membership for this. You can't just take a member and then add this.
Not per person, I don't think. Yeah. No. Yeah, I mean, there's some things that they. So he's asking about per person changes. There's some things that you can do that you can change per person. So, for example, let me go into the nonprofit here. There's going to be. Let me do this church for an example. There's a bunch of things in here, and again, if they can do it for some of these, I don't know why they can't turn them on for some of them. But like there's a thing in there where you can change the header code. We've gone over that before. You can change the metadata for the particular listing. In the actual settings, you can change whether they're featured. This is where you change the parent ID. So again, if the bagel shop was like, hey, we have a corporate headquarters that has other locations, you're like, oh, well, did they make? So they made a listing. Oh, that's listing 856 is your corporate. Now I can just by changing that, I now make this a sub, one of the other listing, and they'll be under the corporate, veil. You can make sure they're listed in all locations and kind of overrule that, and then you can change the max location limit. And so let's say that was a 3 location setting in there. You can then for that one particular person go, hey, I've got 5 locations. You have me limited to 4, and you're like, all right, yeah, we'll bump you up to 5. In fact, I'm feeling good today. I'm going to give you 6, and then that overwrites that. But so it doesn't overwrite the membership amount. So I don't know why they couldn't. Where to say membership?
Is that service areas, or is that actual different listings?
That's the service area piece add-on. Yeah, it's the multi-location listings add-on. That's what service areas is what you're talking about. Yeah.
Multi-location. That's what we just went over. Okay.
Yeah.
It's interesting that they have each one of them. You can add SEO stuff to it or meta stuff.
Right, because maybe somebody wants to. You can kind of upsell that, or be like, hey, if you want to focus your SEO on, let's say you're a pizza place and you want to focus on calzones, right? And so you can put all sorts of calzone keywords in that one particular listing, but you don't want to focus on calzones for everybody, but they want to focus on that. You can kind of make that a boutique service of your higher plans. Or like, hey, we will personally walk through the keywords and customize your keywords for search engine optimization for your listing. Just hype that one up, and then you just have to do it once or add that in there, and it looks like you did something spectacular, which may help out, but it's probably one of those things that it looks better than it actually is. But hey, it's the premium package. You walk them through there, and now they got custom SEO, and they're happy. So
interesting. I didn't realize it yet, because I figured that you just use service areas and they would come up in those listings when someone's searching in a certain city, but it would only be the main contact info,
right?
Corporate contact info.
Yeah. So there's a couple different areas on the SEO. You have that one, and then this is kind of off topic a little bit, but if you have this add-on, you can. It's actually not an add-on. You actually have to turn it on. I'll show you guys where it's at in here in a second. This related keywords in the actual category. So I'm just going to show you where that's at real quick, and then we'll come back to here. So if everybody goes in the settings and advanced settings, just type in the word related. I think this will show it up. There we go. So this is normally turned off. And so you want to turn this on. It says show related keyword field for categories in admin. So type in related and turn that on. And so what that does is it allows you to add additional words that have nothing to do with with a particular category or maybe even membership level, and allows you to have that come up in the search results just based on what that content is. So you can kind of stuff some keywords in here. So I'm gonna do an example here. I'm gonna go to my sub level here. I'm gonna type in pizza. Again, I always use my pizza reference. It's sub level. Sorry. So pizza, and there we go. Food and drink restaurant pizza. I'm gonna type in the word UFO or Area 51. It says nothing to do with anything. There we go. I'm going to hit save changes, and I'm going to go to the website. And again, that's obviously not a bad example because that doesn't mean anything. But let me type in Area 51. And again, now this has nothing to do with pizza, right? Or anything else. But you see how it clicked up pizza when I did that. And so here's the 27 results that serve pizza. And I typed in Area 51 and it showed up. So what that may be useful for is if you want to have like a keyword like I have this one for mine for the businesses that are accepting the new Hudsonville community currency, keyword Hudsonville. If I use that keyword and I put stuff that into that particular category or that particular thing, now I can get specific those 25 search results that take that Hudsonville currency just by typing in that. Adding that stuff in there for that particular category. So obviously it's not per listing. It's just for a category, but there may be some use that you guys could use for that. What it's good for is,
I would think if there was like a word that's used, but not known by everybody, like in other words, like if people use the word, I don't know, a different word for pizza, they used it or typed it in wrong or whatever.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, exactly. Like if
pie, pizza, pie, pizza.
Round. I don't know. Round.
You could do whatever you want, right? Then, and then so I'm going to save that, and that's a perfect example. So you can kind of, and you could spend hours on this one if I have like all the misspellings or keywords for that stuff. But now if I search in, I'm typing fast and I go, I'm looking for pizza. Normally that wouldn't find anything, right? Because you misspelled it. It's not in the thing, but there I am, 27 results for pizza. And I spelled it totally wrong. So, it's on my to-do list to do that stuff, but obviously that's per category. You could spend hours on that, but it does really enhance the functionality of the website, right? Because otherwise, here I'll show you what happened. I'm going to take that off, right, and I'm going to resave that. If that's not there, and I type in, the wrong spelling, it's not going to find anything. So let me refresh that. So there we go. So now I'm searching for pizza, and it's like, we got nothing. And you're like, what? Where's the pizza? And then they're never going to realize they spelled pizza wrong, right? So there's a ton of uses for that. It takes some time, but it's very, very useful if you guys have not seen that before.
Do you have to turn on the multi-location feature, or is that a stock feature?
I think it's an add-on, to be honest. Let me go check.
Do they turn on?
It's related. It's called related keyword. It's just not turned on. I don't know for some I don't know why. Like if you're paying for that, adding related keywords. Yep. And it's $20 a month for that thing. So
yeah,
that's what it is. If you're on the VIP add-ons, you have it. So
crazy not to have them.
But I'm still surprised on how many people nickel and dime or piecemeal those things, and I'm like, get them. You're already paying for 65 of them, and you have 3.
Yeah, I mean the secured server is like worth just getting it,
right?
And some of the other things. But the multi-listing one that is different than the multi-listing one is part of the.
No, that is a different one as well.
And it's already turned on though.
No, I mean if you have it.
Yeah, that's what I mean. If you have it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Should be.
Not a setting.
Oh no, I'm sorry. Multi-location is one. That's the areas you're at. The one we were talking about is the multi-member manager. That's the one we were just going over.
They're both add-ons.
Yeah, and this is the additional listing.
Multi member manager.
And this is a fairly good graphic there too. And probably some good content that you can kind of snag the baseline stuff for your site if you're kind of explaining, what it is.
Where's that on the?
It's just on the main page. If you go to add-on, browse add-ons, and they're all listed out there.
Oh, there you go.
And so this is on my to-do list too, that I'm going to eventually work an example page for all these different features that, everybody can just grab and put on their website. And then, what's nice, you could do a walkthrough of that particular feature generically or, for your particular listing. And then, you could maybe put here instead of, obviously they're not paying for it because it's just either part of a membership plan for years or not. You could maybe put the, different plans here with like red or green, like which plans have this feature, like, oh, that one, the free plan doesn't have this one, But then be able to explain, what the different feature sets are. And now that they've got the draggable content in the back end here, it makes it a lot easier as well to be able to add that stuff in there. So I'll just go over that real quick for anybody who wasn't on yesterday's thing. I know we talked about this last week with the drag and drop content. They did add a couple things on there to make it a little bit easier. So it's right here in the draggable content blocks. And you can, if we're talking about that feature set right there, you can basically get, drag these over. And then maybe these are the features right here. And now it's, ready to go and you can just edit it. One of the things they added yesterday was the advanced styles. And that now has a toggle full width. So if you don't want that action link, just, smaller, you can toggle full width and it'll make that the full width now. So they're adding some functionality through the Forala editor that they're allowed to kind of tweak. And so they've been adding some of this stuff where you can change the style, normal warning, it changes it to that, success, change it to green, large info, change it to blue, whatever. And this keeps with your colors of your particular directory, whatever it is for you, you can pick from the styles. So really some useful stuff that they've added on there. So that's the only new thing for here. They may add, hopefully they'll add some additional stuff on here. And as we talked about last time, Jamie found this out. These are all, they're not Bootstrap, right? These are just normal HTML tables or old school tables. So you may have to do some editing there to get that functionality good to go.
Yeah, I used them for my advisor page that's not finished yet, but really easy to lay out.
Then one of the other things they added yesterday was the Global Plus location. So they actually they had this last week, but they just everybody was saying, hey, why don't we have the Global Search Plus location? All they had was the Global Search without that. So now that's just at the bottom. If you're adding in your homepage search settings here in the homepage layout, search type, they have global website search. They added the global website search plus location. So if you're on the actual website, and I'll show you, I'm not going to change it on mine because I don't need the location because I'm just in one location for my site. But if you wanted that, it has the global search with the keyword and then the location where you could search by location. The only reason it didn't really necessarily work with global location is because sometimes post types don't have a location. Like when you add a an event has a location, right? But if you had a coupon or a news article, it doesn't necessarily have a location. So that filtering by location, you're actually going to get rid of a lot of content because a lot of the content doesn't rely on or have a location.
So they won't show up. It won't just show up all those. It just won't show them.
No, it'll filter out by that location, right? So if there's no location in there to then verify that it's there, I think it parses those out.
Can you put locations on coupons and job postings and all that, or no?
They're not in there. And we kind of talked about this before. If you're going to clone a post type or add stuff in there, you kind of want to know what features are on that to be able to clone it. So for example, a news article doesn't have a price slider, right? Or doesn't have a price built into that where it can search for price. So if that's key to you and you want a price slider or a price functionality, then you're going to clone a coupon, post type. And then same thing, if you want one with a bunch of different fields like pricing and or square feet and that stuff, you can use a property because that one's built in with the search bar and just with a bunch of extra fields that you can search and kind of repurpose or whatever. So I would always kind of base off what the search looks like for that particular item, and then also whether it's a single image or multi-image. So, for example, coupon's a single image one, but a property type is a multi-image. It's got that multi-image set up in there in the back end. So it's virtually impossible to add that in after the fact. And so if you want photos, you want to pick or clone one that has that multi-photo capability built in. But just for this one, I think we showed this last time, just with the search by keyword. And I'm going to check it out. Now that you asked me about that location filter, I'm going to see what it does based on location. So now I just searched for, nothing, and it just came up with basically all the content in my directory here, 800 profiles, some products, videos, etc. And so it basically, searches everything and shows you the results for everything. And I think I showed this last week too, but, if I type in pizza, my example I always use, and search for that, it's going to filter everything out just for the, here's the 5 pizza coupons, a pizza event, and 5 pizza products, because these are the gift cards for pizza places. So, and then the 37 ones that have pizza in the deep, either a keyword or in the title, et cetera, because I got the deep keyword search turned on. And so those are all the listings. So let me go ahead and change that to global website search plus location. We'll see what it does. We'll go back there. What I'm gonna do is type in pizza, and I'm gonna type in. I don't know if it changes the sidebar there. I don't think it does. No. So you'll want to change the sidebar there if you want the keyword and location, because they don't really edit that, but it should change on the front end. Actually, it wasn't done saving, so let me refresh that. Maybe it does, but I doubt it. I don't think those are normally dynamic like that. No. So let me go to my homepage here. I'm gonna type in pizza. So remember that 37. That's total in the whole area. So I'm gonna type in pizza, and I'm gonna give it my location for where I'm at, and I'm gonna search. And I'm expecting that to filter out for pizza obviously only in that location. There we go. So it parsed out those other 24 pizza locations that are close to me that are not here where I'm at within that radius.
You got coupons and products, so that.
Well, yeah, because those are most of them are for the Vitalis. I think it has most of the coupon. Yeah, they got all of them.
So they attach to the whatever the location is for the parent.
Well, that's a good question.
So it just basically takes vitals, yeah.
Right. Yeah. Exactly.
Vitalis, whatever they are.
Well, that's good. So I guess it does make sense to have it. You're right. So it pulls that with that.
So that should work for job postings and blogs, unless you have a blog that you're the one doing all the blogs.
Right. I assume there. One interesting thing would be because some of them, like events, you can have a location for an event, and if that's not in the area, it may not do it. Let me see.
You can create one.
Well, I'm just wondering. I have a hospital here that has a whole bunch of events in there. Oops, sorry. Let me try this again here. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna type in. So this should come up with some events. Yeah. Okay. There's a hospital that has a whole bunch of these. So I'm trying to think of how it would, because these have locations in there. So I'm going to try to let me type in Pumpkin Fest. And then trying to think how it would parse out the to see if this is respecting this.
Just put in Pumpkin Fest and then your Hudsonville, right? Or whatever the city is that's away from that. That's not near there.
Yeah, I think that will parse it out because I'm saying it's a different location. I almost need something that's so generic that it's in both locations, right? Because then I could just type in Pumpkin Fest. Oh no, hold on.
Well, you can create a Pumpkin Fest for another city or another. Yeah. Well, you'd have to have another. You have to use another user. Like if you logged in as like yourself, and you're not in that same city, and then you added an event called Pumpkin Fest.
But see, I know it's always going to find. It is going to always. I think it's self-critique because. Because I don't think it matters. See, I'm just trying to. I can't even think of a way I wouldn't be able to find it. Like if I just type in Pumpkin Fest, it's going to find it, right? Because it's in the title. But
not if it's specific city, though, right?
But then you're telling it to look in the city. So why are you in the city if you're not looking for that? Of course, it's going to parse it out because it's not in that city. So I'm trying to. And then if you're searching for a city, then that is also in that city. So it's going to show up just because that person that's in that city posted it. So I'm just trying to I'm struggling trying to find out why it wouldn't find exactly what you wanted by doing the location and the keyword. I think it's kind of self-correcting. So I'm trying to because I'm trying to differentiate between searching for the member by searching for the event location. Actually, that's what I need to do. I need to change the Zeeland Pumpkin Fest from the person who posted that. I need to yeah, that's what I need to do. I need to change the location to for the event to a different city. I guess the wrong city, right? Or the one that's not. Then we'll be able to see that whether that is respecting the address of the poster or the address of the actual item. So I'm going to copy that for later, but let me just go. I'm going to do Hudsonville. So there we go. I'm changing the address. There we go.
Wow.
So this Zeeland festival is in Zeeland. So, and not Hudsonville. So I just changed the event to Hudsonville, but the actual person is in Zeeland. And I'm gonna search for Zeeland as the location. And we'll see if the Pumpkin Fest shows up.
That's everything in Zeeland.
Yep. And it is not there. So it is using the address for the event, not the person.
Oh,
so
perfect.
So that's perfect. So that basically does what I would expect it to do. Then it overrides the member listing location.
Wonder how it also retrieve jobs and stuff too, because you said it does everything, right? Every content.
Right. So I would think if there's something that has the address in there, then that will override the location search portion there. It would override the location of the member. But if there is no location, then it will use the poster location. I'm not sure why this is not. So that was a great question there, Jamie. I think that's good. So bottom line is that works. I guess that's how I would expect it. It uses the location for the poster, assuming that thing is in wherever they're at, and then unless it has a location field built in, and then it will override that based on whatever address you tell it's in for that particular listing. So,
wonder if they actually tested it.
I'm sure it's exactly like they want. No, I don't know. It's hard to tell. I'm sure they did. But those are the kind of details. Like, there's a lot of stuff in the system too, where it's so convoluted on how you can do it because it's so complicated. Like they never tell you, what does what or what order. There's a lot of stuff that potentially has an override function that's in there that you just don't know it does it.
They don't. Probably have too many scripts they got to write to do everything anyway.
Yeah. So like, we were talking about that last week of the email system where there's so many templates and, admin settings on whether an email goes out or doesn't go out. And then they, they don't have it very detailed on to tell everybody what email templates go out when or automatic or which ones are manual or what settings, turn on or off will stop or prevent or actually send a particular email template. That's one of those things that I think is lacking on the documentation. It's just a lot of work when you got 48 templates and like 50 settings probably that turn on or off those things. There's a lot of stuff to document. And then like most of the FAQ stuff, which I think we're going to try to talk over next week for frequently asked questions, that becomes a hard job to keep all those things updated because when you have all of those FAQs, if anything changes on your end or Google's end or whatever, then they're out of date. And so it doesn't. You do rely on people using it and kind of saying, hey, this isn't what it looks like anymore, or that doesn't track with what was happening on my end. And then they do a good job of updating it once they point it out. But there's just so much to cover that it's inevitable that there'll be something inaccurate or wrong. But let's see. And then this is kind of the I think I showed this a second ago, but I actually like this new member search filter thing. I noticed it this last week. I'm glad they went over it in the webinar. But they basically, you always used to have these search things here where you're like, hey, I want to look for admin, right? And search members, but it didn't. What it does now is it adds any of those filter things down here, so you can kind of see real quick what your filtered listings, what they are. And to me, that's obviously I can look here and see it's admin. It really doesn't help that much, but and it kind of highlights which one it is by going over that, so hey, that's what that is. I can kind of get rid of it. But the thing I like is they used to not have the X in there either or that, and so what you used to have to do is you click that and then go back to the remove that up here. But now you don't have to do that. You just I don't want to sort in that order. I don't want to sort by membership plan anymore. And then you just have to hit the X's and then it refreshes. Actually, I guess it doesn't. It basically zeroes it out and you have to hit search members again to show that. That should be automatic, but I guess not.
Well, that they don't have if you make a change on a member, like if let's say a member is on hold and you activate it.
Yeah, you got to hit refresh to have it.
I told them that there's a bug in there.
Yeah, I don't know if it's a bug. It's just probably maybe they didn't code it to auto refresh. I don't know, but
they said they're going to update it eventually.
Okay. Yeah, I think they get touchy a little bit sometimes. They're like, "This is a bug," and then they're like, "That's the way it either is, or we didn't code it to do anything else, so it's not a bug. It's
a feature.
It's not user friendly, right? Or it's not the way it should work." But so I equate that to a bug. But for them, it's not doing anything weird. It never was meant to do that. So,
exactly.
So that one's kind of cool for doing that. And then the last one we kind of talked about as well in the settings and advanced settings. And I don't know that this naturally helps. There was all settings for this before, and so I don't think it gets us anything new. It's just a little bit Gucci looking setup on here. But if you just type in profile URL, it now has the ability to change what the breadcrumb or the URL structure for your directory looks like. So right now, I have country name, city, top level category, the member. Let's say you want them switched around, you can drag and drop, and so now it's top level first, or you can add the state name in there and the postal code, move that around, and so it just dynamically creates these. And again, once you have this set up to whatever you want, then you kind of just don't ever touch it again. So it's nice and Gucci for a second there, but once you got it all set, then you're kind of done with it on the settings and just save that. But it does allow you to have that capability to dynamically add those in, and it'll automatically add those 301 redirects in there for those particular URLs, so you don't lose the link juice or any other link structure that you had before. It'll dynamically or gracefully, I guess, move that over.
I wonder who requested that. It's a very interesting feature.
Yeah, I think they mentioned the webinar several months ago, and I think people were just saying, "Hey, it's really, how do I change that?" It seems like it's stuff that you have in the database, but I think before they had like something small where like it would turn on or off the country, and you're like, "Turn off the country," and then it just gets rid of the country, and you're like, "Well, that's nice, but I wanted the country, I just didn't want it there. I wanted it over." So people were complaining about how to more dynamically change that, so they were able to do that, and I mean they do a good job of putting stuff on there. I know people were asking, "Hey, do you have a public roadmap?" I mean, I know they write that stuff down there, and eventually, if you pay attention and you've been in the game in the space here long enough, you realize they bubble back up as soon as they have time, or it becomes a priority. Then they go ahead and fix it, and they're like, I heard that right, several months ago, but I had no idea that they were working on it. Somebody in the forums the other day said, "Hey, I didn't know you were doing that, and I just paid a developer $500 to do that for me. I wish I would have known that last week because I would have saved $500."
What was that?
That was the comments section. So let me actually go onto that real quick here. Again, if anybody jumped in here to show this again real quick, I'm looking to potentially do the webinar in a different time or day. Scan that with your phone, or go to directorytoolkit.com/webinar and take the survey. I'd appreciate it, and just get some feedback on that from everybody on when they would like to have it. So these are some of the updates. The last one was the page commenting. This is what he said. I paid somebody $500 to do. And so this is what they actually, just kind of a screenshot of what they're actually working on. I've got it on mine for Facebook comments, but this is going to be native to BD, where they'll be able to post a comment and have threaded replies, and you can see it on there with just a send button there. It'll also say, when they have a certain number of comments left, it'll be more like a forum, or you can attach that to any particular post type, assuming a listing as well. So that's what it looks like. There's some of the settings that they kind of went over that they're initially going to have, just baseline stuff at the beginning on, what that section title is called for comments, whether you can display the count or not. So it says 5 comments or just doesn't say it at all. Whether you want to moderate them ahead of time, and then you can turn it on or off for different post types in the settings here. So let's say you want comments on your photo albums, but you don't want comments on somebody's classifieds, for example. You can turn those on or off for any particular listing. And then this is what it looks like in the back-end admin. It kind of looks like the leads system would be, where it just comes in with all the comments, who posted it, what comment that comment was in response to, and then the post that comment came from. And then you can accept, deny, or delete the individual comments by comment. So it's kind of nice. You can kind of moderate it. If there's some offensive language or somebody flags something, or you just don't want that to be there, you can just get rid of it and delete it or moderate it. So probably some more functionality there. Maybe not as much functionality as some people want, but it does look nice. Right now, and then here's the survey again. If you guys go to directorcook.com/webinar, this is just a survey on my site. If you guys don't, it's only literally three questions, so it'd be real quick for everybody. But on the actual directory, like I'm just going to go to upcoming events. I don't think I have any events now that I click that. Let me go to some actual content here. I'll go to a video. And so right now there's no comment system in there. And so the only options you have are really using the discuss or a Facebook comments add-on. And so that's the one I've got turned on for mine. And it's got the same content. It'll look like this for theirs, where you can change the title, have some comments. Obviously, it won't hook into Facebook, so there may be some residual value that you want to have in there for Facebook instead, or discuss instead, because it has some additional functionality. You can do both. I asked them this on the webinar last night. So if you add the comments in there using the baseline setting for that right now, it'll actually append these comments section at the end, because this is basically a kind of a generic footer section in the admin, and then their comments section will be above this one. So theoretically, you can do both comment type things, or you can have other stuff in the bottom. And this is really slow with the webinar here. It's not loading fast. There we go. So I've got the Facebook comments plugin for mine, where I can add comments, and it just pulls it from my Facebook. And you can do that right now just in the normal system. And I'll show everybody where that's at real quick. If you go into, go ahead.
You there? I just see your back end.
Yeah, that's where I'm at right now.
Oh.
So where this is at, this is on let me go to it's in the edit post settings. And you can do this again for any particular post type. I'll just use video because that's the one I was kind of demoing there. And it is in the profile page design. And it is down. I thought that was it. Stand by. There we go. Detail page design. It's in the last one down at the bottom. It says comments section title. So I have comments, and then I have the.
I'm still stuck on your one page, your comments back end. I think it's a frozen screen.
Oh, hold on. Oh, you're right. There you go. Thanks. I had multiple things up on the screen. It was showing my. There we go. Sorry. Thank you. Now I'm trying again. I had this stop sharing thing on my screen, so I was still sharing it. It was just in a different tab that I was not presenting. So had not done that one faux pas before. So I apologize. So let me go back to that real quick. It's in the content edit post settings, and it's in the detail page design for any particular post type, and it's down at the bottom, and it says comment section title comments, and then the embed code for comments or schema, whatever you want, and then here's just the custom code there for the Facebook comments. So that one you can do, and I don't know why they said it's generic, and I just didn't realize it until they said it last night. It doesn't have to be comments. It basically is just like an open embed code spot that basically ends up being a footer for that particular every post type. So let me go back to that since I wasn't on my on the screen before. So here's just an example of what it looks like on my directory toolkit. It just shows video comments with the Facebook plugin. Nobody made any comments, but it just shows up in there. And you can put that at the bottom of any post. Type.
Go back to that again. Oh, so you did
for the back end?
No. My screen.
Say that again. That didn't come through.
Show how it looks on the front end. The comment.
Okay. Yeah, I'll just do it on this one since I think I've got it on here as well. So it just shows up at the bottom of any particular listing. This one, I said it was loading slow because I'm sharing the video here, but so it just shows up at the bottom of any particular post type, and then the you can add whatever content you want in the embed file. Basically, is what they're saying. So it ends up being like a footer area for that particular post type. So.
What are some good reasons to use that? Oh, there it is. Oh, okay.
Yeah, sorry. That, like I said, it was just loading slow because I'm.
And then when you type in there, you say it goes to there. It goes to which Facebook? You're posting to.
I'm posting to this page.
Oh, okay. It says Facebook comments plugin.
Yeah. So, I mean, the cool thing about that is because I'm logged into my computer, it knows it's me. It'll put your icon there. You can add any comments, and it'll string it, thread, just like a Facebook post, basically.
And when you say also post on Facebook, it'll go to your Facebook, whoever's commenting.
Right.
And it pulls in does it pull in the content from the coupon content too? Onto the post?
I don't know. Let me do it. I haven't messed with that, to be honest, that much. So you can pick your
whatever right.
You, or I can then do it from a particular business or business page. So like I've got multiple business pages or whatever, whichever one you want, you can kind of select there of who's doing it. So let me do it from my directory toolkit here. I'm gonna do a live demo of comment Facebook post from my Hudsonville page. I'm going to click also post on Facebook. So there we go. So it adds it in there. And then so obviously you can hit reply, like it, just like Facebook. You can, you can edit or delete your comment or embed the comment in something if you want. So it's got some good functionality. We'll see what it did. If anything. There you go. So live demo this is exactly what I posted in there with the actual embed of the coupon.
That's nice.
Yeah. So there's some there's some good functionality, built into that one that theirs is not going to have, right? So, kind of up to you on how you want to do it. But that's
$500 charge, or that's $500 the guy spent, and then they did it.
Yeah, but I don't know what he paid somebody $500 to do, and so it comes down to one of those things where if don't get a customization unless it's, really that important to you. There's always usually probably a workaround like that. Facebook comments is free. You don't have to pay anything for it other than, coding to set it up properly. So which doesn't cost that much. So there's no way anybody should pay $500 for a plugin like that. But maybe if it's worth that to you, maybe you do, because it probably had some plug-in functionality in the back end of BD, had some, exactly what they did built into theirs for everybody. And it probably costs, $500 for all the time and effort to do that individually for a particular website. But I always tell people, well, if you wanted some functionality and it was worth $500 of you paying to do that, well, you got that functionality. So whether that is different than BD's a little bit, probably, but it was worth $500 to you because it was that important. So don't, I would never blame, brilliant directors for like, how dare you give me a free tool? I just paid to get that. Well, you still have that. It was obviously worth that much for you to do it because you said okay, and they added it for you. So, but just realize, if it's not worth that money to you, don't pay the money for the customization. There's probably not that important to the people that are your clients, or maybe for you. And if it is, and you want to pay the money, then great. But I'd always ask your clients too what's important to them or what they want. Because if you're just making stuff or paying money to make a change that feels good to you or something that you want, well, maybe nobody else wants that, and you're just paying $500 to make yourself feel good, or that I have a comment section and nobody has ever posted a comment on any of your other stuff before ever. So just think about that whenever you're making a decision on what you're paying for. But, so if it's worth it to you and you want to add it and that somebody can develop that for you, go to town.
I mean, it would be nice though, I understand what he's saying. Like if they had a list of what they're going to be working on, features would be nice, but
yeah,
it changes so much.
Yeah. It's kind of a catch-22, I think, a lot of times for these companies, because now, I even get that sometimes where like, can we do that? And like, yeah, I can probably do that. I need to look into it. And then they're like, hey, I thought you were going to do that. And I'm like, well, it takes time to figure it out or do it. And, are you paying, are you paying me to focus on that by something else? And so when you're like, hey, I could probably, get that done or look at that in a week or whatever. If stuff happens and they don't get to it, now everybody gets upset. Those people always do that when they're like, hey, you said you were going to have a custom chat bot in September. That was in May. It's in October. You're like, 3 days late on your prognosis. When are you going to have the chat done? And then they're wasting a lot of time answering people back of like, well, that's their timeline, but we're working on it. And then it's even worse when you have a notional timeline. You get excited, but you have no idea when it's going to come out. And so they could be spitballing like, hey, this will be 2021. And then they're unhappy because they don't know when in 2021, or like beginning of the year, end of the year. And then people fixate on things thinking that that's going to come soon. And they like base their whole business model on it coming out next week. And then they get upset because it wasn't built in. They're like, I have to launch. I'm basing my business model on your new chat program that you said, was going to come out soon. And then they get upset at them. So it's like, it's a lose-lose situation, I think, a lot of time for those companies, because they don't have any flexibility, or it just gets people more upset than the people that are happy because they know what's coming down the pike. It's almost like better to have it as a Christmas gift item, or like, wow, we got drag and drop stuff all of a sudden this week. We didn't have it before. I'm excited.
The other thing is if they add it and they think they start doing it and they figure out it's going to cost them too much money and not worth the time, then they take it off, and then they promised everybody.
Right, exactly. Because now they're like, now they're upset again because you promised something and either weren't able to deliver it. And it's true. Like different people have different coding sets, or some things just don't work for a particular coding just in that platform with however it's set up, or just like you said, had caused more QC issues of maybe it works, but it still slows something else down, and they'd have to like actually rebuild an entire portion of the rest of the software just to make that one piece work, because it kind of is set up a little bit differently. And so a lot of times it doesn't behoove those companies to set it up like that, unfortunately.
Yeah,
but I do like them. And but I'm going to say 8 out of 10 roadmaps end up being inaccurate, either timeline wise or focus wise. Like they just don't even actually do it. or they just end up not communicating what the status is. I'd say 8 out of 10 roadmaps that I go to are in one of those conditions, either out of date, inaccurate, or just unreliable, and it's more just open-ended, and you're like, you might as well not even know that you're dealing with that, because it could be tomorrow, it could be 3 years from now, and I have no idea, and I'm not going to base any of my decisions on it. So I'll just let me know in an update email when you've added something, new functionality, and I'll read that and utilize it if I want it,
Well, going back to the comment thing, it's always, a question of, do you want to allow people to write their own stuff without checking? You know what I mean? Like you put the comment on there and someone puts on there, this is the worst effing coupon I've ever seen or whatever, and you don't catch it, right?
Well, and so that, there's some moderation things in there, and they had that on their BD one where you could moderate the comments before they went live. So that is in there.
Yeah, then now it's costing you time and money.
Right, exactly. It's a catch-22 on that one as well. The comments are kind of worthless when you don't have a community that's chatting back and forth, and so they really don't do anything. It actually is detrimental, because then you see the people commenting, and then they're like, hello, is anyone there? And nobody's commenting back. And then the other side of the coin is, if you have so many people commenting back and forth, now, like you said, it's just an entire nightmare trying to keep track of what everybody's saying or filter that stuff out. And then now you need a virtual assistant just to do your comments, right?
Because, I think you have to monitor reviews nowadays. I think reviews is definitely a monitored situation. But
that's why you have the capability in your back end here. And I think everybody knows this, but I'll just do it for those people watching the replay that don't know that you can do that. The membership plans have a bunch of review capabilities inside there, and they did move them around a little bit. So this may be new for some of you guys on where these are at. I'm not a big fan of this. I'm actually on record with Jason on that I'm not a big fan of the new layout, but apparently there's going to be more coming. Hopefully that'll clean this up. I just think a lot of the right side is wasted on these now because they put a new one on every line. But in the search visibility, which this really isn't a search visibility thing, but way down here is member review settings. And there's basically 4 settings you can do. You can, have to approve by admin first, is what we're kind of talking about, where you're monitoring by them just going live. You can then change off the star rating options, so you can't see the star options. And then the 2 main ones you can kind of do for, I guess, changing up for pricing models for different membership levels, of turning stuff on or off for privileges, is for them to be able to accept and delete reviews on their own. And then a reply to reviews. So if it's kind of it's positive, but they had a question, then they can kind of show their customer support for that business and reply to that and have that show up in the front end of the actual business replying to a comment. So this is kind of the, I guess, moderating advice, the business when they own their thing, they're kind of moderating their own. And then that comes with its own bag of worms there for, reviews, because now do you want to have them be able to delete reviews if they're negative? That has a whole connotation as well. And then they become kind of, I guess, somewhat worthless, where it's all positive. Everybody's got 5-star ratings, right? And nobody has anything negative because you're allowed to delete everything. That's why sometimes either that's no, or you have that delineated as not reviews, but recommendations. So they're kind of inherently positive in that realm anyway. And they're more like testimonials for the business at that point on how good their service is. And you're actually reading for content as opposed to glossing over for star rating to see how many are positive and how many are negative, because they're all recommendations. And then they can control which recommendations they want to show or which ones they want to delete. So those are just some food for thought there. But that's where those are at. And does come up with some burden there if you're going to approve all of them yourself.
It's hard these days with people, the way people bully companies around.
Yeah, and so that that's maybe why you want to use another third party thing to pull in reviews for your listings potentially, because obviously Again, catch 22 for that. When you don't have a lot of traffic, you don't have a lot of reviews, and there's always a lot of reviews somewhere else that aren't on your site. So, there may be a different way that you want to do that or execute that for your particular site, or at least have them, link to the reviews.
So I just sent my first email blast through Mailview.
Oh, you just did it just now?
And I'm wondering, I'm gonna see how the success rate, open rate, and everything. I sent 18,200.
What kind of rate do you normally get?
Anywhere from 10 to 15, and the only reason that is that I mean, normally I get around 13%. Average is like 13%, yeah. But that's a kind of a messed up number or not a real number, because I have plenty of email addresses that are nobody's ever opened it or looked at it. And I was telling you before that Constant Contact doesn't have a report that like says, okay, these last 10 emails that were sent, these are the people that didn't open all 10 of them, and then I can just remove them. So hopefully, I think Mailview has some kind of better feature where it will allow me to look at who didn't open up, the last 10 of them, and I can just remove them from because out of the 18,000 contacts, I'm sure there's at least 5,000 that are dead. I mean, dead isn't they're actually dead, but either the email address is still on, but nobody's looking at it, or those people aren't opening up no matter what you send them, or it goes right to another, it's going into their spam and it's not recording on Constant Contact.
Right.
But we'll see. I got 4% so far open. I need to get, basically what I needed to do is I need to get over 10%. So that they can, because what they're doing, they kind of do. I think I told you they do an onboarding.
Right.
Thing.
What did they say on that? Did they say, okay, we'll open it up, but we're going to monitor or something? Did they give you some details or?
Yeah, so I had a webinar like at 7 a.m. in the morning because they were in I don't even know what country they're out of. He told me, but I have no idea what country it was. They, I
think it's, I don't know.
Yeah, it's somewhere in. I don't think it's India though. But anyway,
Mediterranean somewhere, I think.
Yeah. So what they did is they went in and they had to adjust the IPs and all the stuff so that when 18,000 emails get sent out, it doesn't look like it's spam. So I guess their onboarding process, what they do is normally they'll send 250 out, and then they'll look at the success rate, then they'll send another 100 out. I couldn't do that with the one I was originally going to do because it was for Friday only. It was like a Friday flashback kind of thing.
Yeah.
But so I waited, and then I finally got on with them, and they gave me 20,000 email credits. So that way, because they don't really give you, it's unlimited, but they don't give you a million. They don't give you an unlimited amount. They give you these credits, and I assume that these credits are what they bought from Send and Blue, like whatever deal they work with them. I don't know what they did, but I assume there's some kind of deal where they're not actually they'll give you enough every time you need it, but they're not. It doesn't say like unlimited. Like right now, I'm down. I can only, if I wanted to send another email right now, I could only send it to 1,700 people because they gave me 20,000 credits. But what's going to happen is after this one goes through, your credits will go back up. After the success rate, and they see that it went through fine. And
okay, yeah, it'd be interesting to see if that's automated though, or something. If there's like some chicken in the back, like hand pecking the numbers in there every time. I don't know.
Well, it's really crazy that they have to do it this way because it seems like a lot of management they're not making a lot of money off of it. I mean, unless they are sending me emails every day about other stuff to buy though, so that's probably what they're doing. But like for $200 or whatever I paid, $300 for a year, that's nothing compared to what I was paying. And I don't know where they're making all their money because I don't know what Send and Blue, maybe Send and Blue's giving them, charging, giving them a deal for like half that.
Yeah, it's hard to tell.
But most people are not don't care about the onboarding, I assume, but if you're switching over, and I said, people expect, all your people expect emails every 2 weeks, then what are you going to do? So,
right.
But yeah, we'll see. Do I have your email? I'll send you the email that I just sent out. You can see what I was talking about. It's a long one.
You can just do support@directorytoolkit.com is fine.
Support at
directorytoolkit.com. So I was gonna show you some. I think I think it's just you and me in the room now. So what I'm gonna do. I was gonna show you something. I just started using this last week. It's kind of cool. I think I mentioned it before. Relay that basically does like banner advertising creation for ads or social or print or anything.
Oh yeah.
Can you see the screen?
Oh yeah.
So what it does, you can make all these leaderboards or different social sizes for YouTube or Pinterest, or kind of has all these preset settings, or just printing for book cover, business card, or whatever. But the cool thing is, it kind of does them all pre-branded. So see how you see I have one design, but it automatically adapts for each particular size. So I don't have to create a like in Crello or something else. Go in there like I need a 728 by 90, and then have that be a blank thing, and now I make the image. You're like, sweet, that looks good. Let me now, you get that all set, and then you export it, and you're like, okay, now I need to make a skyscraper ad or whatever. See, it kind of just resizes everything for that particular that size. It's pretty neat, and it kind of has all these preset layouts. And then it has different layers, but unlike the other ones where you just kind of delete layers, these all stay here, but you basically just take it off. So let's say I wanted that section, turned on or off. You basically see now that's gone. I just kind of have the overlay. Let's say I want that opaque thing back. You can turn things on or off. Let's say I don't want my slogan. I just turn that box off, and things can reappear. So it makes it really nice. But the cool thing is you can also automatically change that based on an import. So I'm gonna actually do yours live, if that's cool. I'm gonna type in your site.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how this will look because I look. FY. Is that it?
Yeah, I don't know if you need an S there though for the HTTPS. It'll make a difference.
There you go. All right. So I'm just going to load it. So this goes from any website. You literally just put in there, and it'll auto magic import and create the banner ads for your site.
Based on the space available?
Based on your site. We'll see how it works. I tried one. It looked fairly good. So
brand.
So it finds all your stuff. Sure, it looks good. I'm going to import it. It does all your auto colors and stuff. So it kind of comes up with your baseline template here of stuff. And then you can go ahead and make a particular ad. So let's make a medium rectangle with your assets here.
Oh, that's cool.
So it's not perfect, but it gets it fairly close, where it's got your content, your slogan, and your ad.
I wonder where the car came from.
I think that was what I had in there. You probably didn't have something. I already had that as a baseline, something for mine. But anyway, it's kind of cool where it just kind of has different initial sets for stuff. Is this your nature scene, or is that default too?
Which one?
Do you have a nature scene on yours at all? Or is that?
I could. Oh no.
Okay. Well, anyway, and you can swap these out. So let's say you didn't like that particular section. You just upload a new one it just replaces that one, right? If you have a a different icon you want. It has your backdrop there for your logo there, but it gets it pretty close. Let me just do Brilliant Directories real quick. So obviously the you always want to tweak it, but you don't have to start from scratch. I guess it'll import the the colors. It'll import the icon in there and get you close, right, to be able to make some banners for people. But once you update it and replace all those stuff, then you're off to the races, because then you can just automatically add stuff in there.
What's it called?
RelayThat.com.
All these, like, Canva, comes out, and then now this.
Yeah, I mean, there's all
Photoshop.
This one's just interesting because it's got all the preset ad sizes. So if you were going to make advertisements for somebody or demo some of these out, they've already got these, all these sizes already pre-canned. And so this one's kind of cool because once you have the assets in there, you don't have to. It's just one click, and now you've got some demo stuff. So here's Jason. How to create your own directory website, get started. Let's say we didn't want his mug on there, so you can turn that off. Just by unchecking that.
Did you hear how he said the word buttons?
No.
Yesterday, he's like, I don't know where he's from. He sounds like he's from U.S., but he says buttons. Like he was emphasizing the T's. It was funny.
So anyway, the bottom line of this one, you don't have to really touch anything. It's close enough, or at least to get some baseline look, and once you update it.
What do they charge?
Not sure. I've got a deal on this one, so I'm not sure what it costs. To be honest, I mentioned it the other day, and I started playing around with it. So it looks like this is $25 a month for this one, but you get 20 different workspaces for different different brands you have, and unlimited downloads. And anyway, it's just a good one for I guess for people who don't want to manually make each separate one.
So, did you see that email I just sent you?
I will check it out.
That's the.
I got a 3:30 today, so I'm gonna jump off here in just a second to go get ready for that one.
Little freaking glitch in it.
Did you send that from Mailview?
No, I sent it from I forwarded.
Oh, I was gonna say, because you're not gonna like the way that looked on my screen, but let me.
Oh, what happened? They cut up.
It doesn't look like anything. I downloaded the images, and it's just not.
That's weird. I don't know what email software is that? Oh, is that Google?
No, it's my own. I don't even explain what it is. It's my own server.
I have images that download. Well,
I mean, this is what it looks like normally it blocks all of them unless I authorize it. So when I open, well, it doesn't do it now because I already said to download it, but it blocks it and says, do you trust the source to download the image? Because obviously it can be nefarious for that. So if it is, I know it was you, and so I said click to download, but now it's not. I think just because the images aren't there. Let me see what link that is.
Images, everything's there. I'm already getting comments from people.
Well, maybe because you're not sent. Oh wait, no, that just went to your website.
You don't use like Outlook or anything like that?
No.
I had three members sign up last 30 minutes. $300. It's weird. Yeah, I tested everything. And I forward you the email with the stuff in it. Is it slow?
No, it's just not like it's like I just looked at the this is the web address. Maybe because you didn't send it to me from Mailview. It's trying to get it from Mailview.
No, you should get it. It's just embedded. There's all the UTM stuff.
Right.
Each photo has a link, right? Goes to my website.
Well, I'm not touching it. I just pasted the image source in the thing, and it's auto forwarding to your direct or your page as opposed to actually loading an image. I was just trying to see what it was doing in my.
Do you have another email viewer?
Yeah, I'll try it on my phone here. No, same thing on my phone, just blank white boxes.
Really? No sense. Let me try something else. Let's see. I'm just forwarding you it so it makes it easier. It's funny that they put a very minimal verbiage in there for unsubscribing.
At the bottom here.
It's strange that you aren't seeing what I'm seeing. There's something weird with one of my tables, though. Oh wait, no, yeah, it's weird. Fix random spots. Oh, don't yeah.
Yeah.
Is that the next one I sent? Look at the new one I sent you. Is that it?
No.
Oh, you clicked on it.
See, mine says remote images are blocked, so I just hit display but it should load them. But
that's weird. Got to be something with your server. Yeah, it's fine on. I mean, I haven't had anybody ever come back with that.
Yeah, well, I'll be honest. That's the first time I've
really
not loaded like that.
Let me add you to the. I'll add you to my list. Anyway, I'm going to add you and I'm going to see if I can send it a different way. I know you got to go, so I'll email you later and see.